Hi guys, welcome to the CATWay. So in this video, we are going to solve a set of the day. And before we move ahead, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Now the question that we have is that four students, Kali, Ranu, Diya and Dev were asked the names of heads of four labs, Alpha, Beta, Theta and Gamma in the college. Now heads of these four labs are Mr. Hari, Mr. Karan, Mr. Ram and Mr. Arjun in no particular order. Now Ranu named Mr. Ram as the Alpha's head. Okay, so Mr. Ram has been named over here as Alpha's head and Mr. Arjun as Theta's head. Okay, Mr. Arjun as Theta's head. Okay, now both Kali and Diya named Mr. Hari as Gamma's head. Okay, Mr. Hari as Gamma's head. Okay, so this has been given. Now Kali didn't name Mr. Karan as Theta's head. Okay. Now guys, no two students name the same person as the head in case of lab beta. So for lab beta, every person is going to give a different name. Now Diya and Dev named the same person as the head in case of exactly two of the four labs. So the answer of Diya and Dev is going to be similar in case of two labs, and no other student apart from Diya, pair of student apart from Diya and Dev name the same person as the head in case of these two particular labs. So apart from the two labs in which Diya and Dev are going to give the same name, no other person can have those names, right? Now this is the point on which you have to work upon. How you see in beta, Diya and Dev will be giving different answers because for beta everyone gave a different answer. And for gamma, if you see, Diya has given Hari. So if Dev also gives Hari, what is going to happen is that there are three people who have given Hari, whereas whenever Diya and Dev give the same answer, no other person is going to give that answer. So it cannot be gamma. So the two places where Diya and Dev are giving the same answers are alpha and theta, right? They are alpha and theta. Okay. Now, guys, what you see is that for Diya and Dev, the possibilities are, see, Diya and Dev cannot answer Hari in alpha and theta because Hari Diya has already answered. So Diya and Dev both cannot answer Hari in alpha or theta. So Hari is out of the picture. So if you talk about theta, the options are either Karan or the option is Ram. So between Karan and Ram, one of them is the option over here. Why not Arjun? Because Arjun is already taken by Ranu. So the same way, because Hari, we couldn't have Hari in for Dev and Diya in G, the same way we cannot have Arjun for Diya and Dev in T. And similarly, we cannot have Ram for Diya and Dev in alpha. Okay. Now talking about, guys, this one theta. So what we know is that Mr. Karan cannot have that name. Okay, Mr. Karan cannot have that name. Okay, Mr. Karan it is never possible for Mr. Karan to have the name of in the thetas. Okay, nor it is possible for Hari. Mr. Hari also it is not possible. Okay, neither it is possible for Mr. Arjun. Why it is not possible for Mr. Arjun? You see that no pair of students apart from Diya and Dev name the same person as the head in case of these two particular labs. So because in theta, Diya and Dev are giving the same answer, so no other pair can have a same answer. So theta cannot have Arjun by Kali as well. So the only option is by taking Ram over here. The only option is by taking Ram over here, and that leaves us with Karan in these two places. That leaves us with Karan in these two places. And since Karan is here, we have Arjun by Diya and Dev in alpha. We have Arjun by Diya and Dev in alpha. Okay. Then guys, what we have is that G cannot be from by Dev, G cannot be Hari. So Hari will come over here. And in that case, we have Ram over here and we have Ram over here. Okay, we have Ram over here and here. Now guys, what we know is that Ranu cannot have Hari in B because D has already given Hari in B. So Hari will occupy this position and it is Karan who will occupy this position. And if Karan is here, then the fourth person, that is Arjun, will occupy this position and Karan will occupy this position. So this is done. Now guys, the person whose name have been given by all the four people gave in a different row. Take care. Now you read this line, this is going to help you. The person who was named as the head by a different lab by each student was correctly identified by Dev. So if you see, that person is Ram, who has been alpha, beta, gamma and theta. Okay, so that person is Ram. So the person who is the head, and because that is the right answer by Dev, so this is the person who is the head of Gamma. This is the person who is the head of Gamma. Okay, so Mr. Ram is the head of Gamma. All right. Then what do we have? We know that Ranu gave two correct answers. Okay. So we know that Ranu gave two correct answers. And what we know is that this one is not the right answer, because for Gamma, Mr. Ram is there. And because Mr. Ram is there for Gamma, he cannot be for Alpha. So the remaining two answers are that Mr. Karan is for Beta. Okay. Mr. Karan is for Beta and Mr. Arjun is for Theta. Mr. Karan is for Beta and Mr. Arjun is for Theta. And for Alpha, in that case, you have the fourth person, that is Hari, will be the head of Alpha. Okay. Now moving to the question. So who is the head of lab Alpha? So we know Mr. Hari. So option number C. Now for which lab does none of the student give the name of the correct head? So if we see that for Alpha, nobody give Hari as the right answer. So option number A is the right answer. And which student did not give any correct answer? So you see that Kali and Diya, both of them did not get any of the answers correct. So the correct answer is Kali and Diya. That is both of them. That is option number D. So with this, the set is complete and hope you have understood the set well, guys. Thanks for watching the video.